What's up, bakers? Welcome back to Baking with Dan. It's fall. I'm still in candy corn mode. If you guys didn't check out my Swiss meringue candy corn buttercream video, it was the last video I had posted. Make sure to check it out. Today I'm sharing with you another favorite recipe of mine. It's for candy corn oatmeal bars. It's kind of like a mix between an oatmeal granola cookie and like a sweet honey flavored blondie. They're really delicious and you're definitely going to want to take them to whatever Halloween parties you're going to. So check out how easy this recipe is. I have some all-purpose flour here in a bowl, just a little bit, about 1 cup. And into that I'm going to whisk a touch of cinnamon, some salt, and some baking soda. I'll just whisk that together to get it combined. And then I'm going to add in some oats. Here I'm using old-fashioned oats because I really like the thicker, heartier texture that old-fashioned oats have. But if you only have quick oats, no big deal. I've used those as well. So that's it for my dry ingredients. I'll just set this aside. And in my glass mixing bowl here, I have some melted, unsalted butter. This recipe comes together so easily because we're using melted butter. And into this, I'm just going to stir some brown sugar and some white sugar. Just stir it up until it's combined. You know, give it some love until it's nice and syrupy and smooth and shiny. Good. So into this, I'm going to stir in 3 tablespoons of honey. The honey is a great addition to this recipe. It complements the oats really nicely, and I think the honey highlights the candy corn flavor in this recipe because candy corns kind of have a honey flavor to them. So I'll stir in this honey, and then of course we can't forget some vanilla extract. So about 2 teaspoons here. And just to bring this all together, 1 whole egg. That was a nice crack, if I do say so myself. So I'll stir this all together. So this is really similar to making a blondie or a chocolate chip cookie that starts with melted butter. So once all these ingredients come together, it should look something like this. Kind of syrupy, but nice and smooth, no chunks of egg or egg white remaining. So I'm just going to stir in my dry ingredients. Smells so good already. Stir this together just like that. And now I'm going to stir in some candy corn, of course. Gotta get those. And I have about 1/2 cup of toasted, chopped up almonds. You could use pecans here, you could use walnuts. You could leave the nuts out altogether if you want, but I really like the heartiness that the nuts add to these bars. I think it adds a nice dimension to them. It already looks like fall, right, with all that candy corn. So I'll just stir this together. No real risk. There's no real risk of over mixing these because it's not a creamed bar cookie recipe. So just until it comes together, it'll look like this. It's ready to go. So grab an 8-inch square baking pan, spray it or grease it and line it with parchment so that these come out easily. If you want to use a 9-inch pan, you could do that as well. If you want to use an 8-inch round pan, go for it. But I like the look of bars in a square pan. And I'm just going to transfer this whole mixture to this pan. And I will spread it out. And it'll look something like this right here. And I'm going to pop this in my 350 oven for about 1/2 hour until it's a nice deep golden brown and it doesn't really jiggle in the middle. So after my bars baked, they took about 30 minutes. You can see they're nice and golden brown. You can see this caramelization spot right here from the candy corn. That's what makes these bars so chewy and so delicious. So I'm going to take a sharp chef's knife here and I'll start by cutting the entire 8-inch square in half. And then I like to cut these into bars that are about 1.5 inches wide. And then I'll just arrange these on a sheet pan that's lined with parchment because we're going to glaze them. So this glaze is probably my favorite part of this recipe. It's basically like a poured fondant. And what are we using to make this glaze, of course? More candy corn. So to make this awesome thick orange glaze here, all you have to do is take about 1/2 cup of candy corn, place it in a microwave safe bowl, and you're just going to melt the candy corn at about 30-second intervals. It'll take about 1 minute, stirring every 20 to 30 seconds until you have this really thick paste. And then you're going to add just a little bit of water, stir it one more time, and microwave it for about another 10 seconds and you'll have this awesome glaze right here. It's a perfect pourable consistency. So I like to transfer this glaze into a pastry bag or a paper cone. That's just a parchment paper cone like I have right here. If you don't have a pastry bag or a paper cone, you can kind of just dip a fork into the glaze and kind of drizzle it over the top. But I'm going to show you guys this method right here. So I have my glaze inside of my paper cone, and I'm just going to drizzle it back and forth over each bar. Really simple. It's a really nice touch. It adds a nice pop of color to the top of these. And then before the glaze cools, I'll just take a few more candy corn, and the glaze will help them stick right on top. So if you all want the recipe for my candy corn oatmeal bars, make sure to check out my blog, bakingwithdan.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Baking with Dan on YouTube. If you have any questions, hit me in the comments below. Enjoy these bars for your Halloween party. Until next time, guys, happy baking and stay sweet.